In previous video, I configured area 3 as NSSA no summary. This means that this is going to receive only a default route. If I just go to R14 and just check this, let me just log in first. So the login is going to be OcNOS. And again, I just mistyped it. One more time, OcNOS, OcNOS. Okay, so if I just say show IP route, what we have here is just the default route, and the rest of the routes, of course, are either from the BGP network, which is advertised as N2, or from our own network. This means that from this area 3. What I'm going to do is to remove this no summary from R4, so I need to go back to R4, and here I'm going to say show run. I'm going to begin from router, and you can see that we have this area 3 NSSA no summary. So what I'm going to do is to configure this, and I'm going to say no area 3 NSSA no summary, and I have to go to router ospf1 first, and then run the command one more time, and you can see that by doing this, what is happening is no summary is going to be removed. If you want to remove NSSA, you have to execute the command one more time. So I'm going to say commit, and then if I just say do show run, and I'm going to begin from router one more time, you can see that now only NSSA is staying here. So if I go back to router 14 and run this command one more time, now you can see that there are a lot of inter-area routes that I am receiving here. What I'm going to do is to just say, okay, I'm not going to have this area as NSSA, or if it is NSSA, I'm not going to have no summary. This means that I'm receiving a lot of LSAs, but what I'm going to do is to just summarize this, and I'm not going to receive all of these routes here. So let's do the summarization. So the summarization is going to be super easy. Let me see what is the best summary for this. 1010 is there. We are going to have from 12 to 26. This means that 12 is going to be something like 0, 0, 0, 0. And then we have an 8. This is going to be this one. 8 and a 4 and no 2, no 1. So that's going to be 12. So the last one is going to be 26. So that's going to be 0, 0, 0, 0. So we have an 8. And then of course I should go a little higher because I want to have 26. So that's going to be 1, 2, 4, 8, 16 is going to be there. Then I'm going to have an 8, which is going to make it 16 and 8 is going to be 24. And then 2, which is going to make it 26, and then 0. Okay, so this is what we have here. So my summary is going to be like this. That's going to be 3 bits from here, 16 bits from there. So that's going to be /19, and the first are going to be 0. So whatever it is going to be 10, 10, 0, 0/19. So that's my summary. You see that calculating summary is sometimes a little bit challenged, but that's okay, and I'm going to just have it. So where should I configure this summary? As a matter of fact, the only place that we can summarize in ospf is going to be the ABRs only. We cannot summarize inside areas. There is a good reason for that. All routers inside an area share the same database, which means that they know everything about each other. Again, this means that you cannot summarize inside an area. You can just summarize between areas, and between areas means ABRs are going to be responsible for that. So router 4 is summarizing from router 0 into router from area 0 into area 3. So what I'm going to do is to go to router 4, and I'm going to say you see that there are different ways to summarize. One of them is going to be the summary address. So this means that it is going to summarize and suppress external routes with specified address range. And the other one is area range command. If I just come up here, you can see that area is here. So what you see here, if you want to summarize the external addresses, we can just use summary address. In my case, of course, I have some external addresses, but here I'm just summarizing between areas. So I need to go to area range command. So I'm going to say area range. So area 0 actually, and range is going to be 10.10.00/19 as we just created that. And I can say do not advertise this range, or I can just advertise it. Let's see the effect of not advertise. I'm going to hit enter, and I'm going to say commit so that I can commit the command. Now I'm going to go to check routing table in area 3. So far I am receiving everything, but as soon as I run this command one more time, the only thing that I'm receiving is only the summary address. So what is the difference between advertise and no advertise? Right now this is advertising to me. This route is being advertised to area 3. This means that I am keeping the reachability intact, which means that if I just try to ping 10.10.25.5 for example, I should be able to reach to 10.10.25. And let's see what is the problem. So if I just say show IP route 10.10.25.0 and hit enter, it says that there is this default route for that, but okay, router 5 is shut down, so that is the reason that I'm not receiving the response from there. Let's say 25.2, that would be much better. So I'm going to say ping 10.10.25.2, and you can see that 25.2 is reachable for me. That is because I have this summary address instead of that address. But let's go back to router 4. What I'm going to do here is to say area this, range this, and I'm going to say no advertise and hit enter. I'm going to commit it. Now going back to router 14, right now I have this, but if I just say show route one more time, what is happening is I don't have it. This means that I just kind of suppressed everything in that range that I just created there and just assigned it to router 4. This means that router 4 is not going to advertise any of those component routes, and it is not even advertising the summary route. So most of the time you want this summary route to be advertised with the other side because you want to keep the reachability, but if you want to suppress the reachability to some specific areas, this is one of the ways to do that. So I'm going to say no area 0 range, and the area range is going to be there, just not advertised is going to be removed. So if I just go back to router 14 and try this, you can see that now I am receiving this range or the summary address, but I am not receiving any of the component routes there. Okay, very nice. So what I have received from router 16 is going to be interesting for me when I want to create a summary address from the external routes. So far what I am receiving is 10.10.134.0, and that is going to be, where is it? Let's just try to trace it. 134, and let's say that this is going to be 16, I guess. I'm not so sure. Okay, trace route. So if I just trace it, you can see that it goes to router 15, and from there, of course, it wants to go to router 16, but router 16 is having this. Let me see if router 16 has this route here. So if I just go to router 16 and say en and show IP interface brief, of course, brief. So that should be this one, 134.16. That is what I was tracing. Okay, so it just goes along to get to the destination, which is on router 15, and from there to router 16, and router 16 did not answer it. Can I just ping it or not? If I try to ping, so you see that it is not getting there, and the reason for that is we don't have any route back. So if you want to get to somewhere, specifically here, for example, on router 16, if router 16 does not know how to get back to you, then the reachability is not complete. But anyway, what I'm trying to do here, I just want to make sure that this is summarized into something, and then an area 0 is going to receive a summary address for that. So for now, if I just go to router 1 and check my routing table, OcNOS, and say en show IP route, you can see that 134 is here as an external route. So what I'm going to do is to kind of summarize this, and for that, again, I need to know the binary value for 134. This time I'm going to use calculator. I'm not going to write it for myself. So I'm going to go to programmer mode. I'm going to say 134, and then I'm going to say binary. Binary is this, 1000 and 0110. So let's say that I'm going to summarize it to 128. So let's do that. So I'm going to go with /20, and this is the first bit, so it is going to be 128. The rest are 0. So what I'm going to do is to go back to router 4, and I'm going to say summary address 10.10.128.0/20, and again /20, of course, and again you can see that no advertisers there. So I'm going to hit enter. I'm going to commit the configuration. Going back to router 1, I already had 134, but I should see it go. And it is kind of external route. You can see that because this is the LSA has been translated from from type 7 to type 5. So you see E2 here, but in R14 you can see N2 because this is inside the NSSA area. So let's go back to router 1, and I'm going to say show IP route one more time, and you can see that now instead of 134 I only have 128, which is the summarization that I have here. This is inside this area 0. If I just go back to router 14, I should not see it here because this is the advertiser of the external route. So we have two different types of summarization. One of them is going to be area range, that is for internal ospf route summarization between areas, and the other one is summary address, that is for external route summarization, which means that the routes which have been redistributed into ospf.